1943, The Battle of Midway is a vertical shoot-'em-up developed and published by Capcom, and released on the NES in October 1988. This was a follow-up to Capcom's previous title, 1942, released about a year earlier. It is a single-player game and boasts a password system on the main title screen. As far as the story goes, there is not much to tell. It's 1943, right in the middle of World War II. You are an American pilot battling the Japanese during the Battle of Midway. That's really it. In total, there are 24 brutally difficult missions that you will embark on. Yes, you did hear that right, 24. This game boasts an impressively long campaign. Although it did get repetitive over time, and overall would probably be better if they cut that number in half. Each mission will encompass flying through enemy territory alone to get to the game's end bosses. The bosses will usually involve a large heavy bomber, squadron of bombers, or a fleet of battleships, all of which need to be destroyed. As you progress through the game, it amps up the difficulty by increasing damage from the enemy fighters, new enemy attack patterns, and even new enemy types. The graphics really aren't too impressive as far as an NES is concerned, and most of the environments are pretty bland. The enemy sprites are also not much to look at, but there is a good variety of enemy types and movements in the game. The outlier to this is the enemy bosses. Those ships and bombers are very detailed and very cool to play against. I also wish there was more cutscenes between missions because playing all 24 missions back to back can get a little tiring. The only two scenes I saw were the opening title introduction and then at the very end when you defeat the final boss. The music in-game is good, and I do wish there was a little more variety between levels. This was, however, a much needed improvement over Capcom's previous installment of 1942. That game's music was probably the worst out of the entire NES library. The rest of the sound effects are decent and get the job done. Destroying enemy planes gives a very satisfying feedback, and attacks also generate a decent sound. The game's HUD shows the player's score in the top left corner, the special energy timer in the bottom left corner, and the player's health in the bottom right corner. Your health will actually drop over time as you play, which makes the game much more difficult. This offers an interesting yet difficult gameplay mechanic. Enemy attacks will also deplete your health, and running into enemies will also deplete it further. When you drop down to 0, one more hit and it's game over. The controls are fairly simple. The start button will pause the game, the directional pad will be used to move both horizontally and vertically, A will fire your weapons, and B will activate your special attack. There are 3 specials that you can activate: Lightning, Cyclone, and Tsunami, all of which deal heavy damage to the entire screen, and for bosses, it will stun lock them for a short while. Using these special attacks is limited and also drains your health, so they should be used only when you absolutely need them. There are 2 additional hidden moves that you can perform. Pressing A and B together will activate a defensive loop, which will grant you immortality for a short time. And if you press and hold B and wait for the chime in-game, you can release a heavy attack. I always love it when NES games think of alternative ways in which to use the A and B buttons, and this moveset is very nice indeed. But is the game fun? The answer is yes, most definitely. There is a lot of game here to enjoy, and even if you somehow manage to beat it, there's a ton of collectibles and high scores, making this highly replayable. The strategy and way you play varies so much between players that everyone will have a unique experience, which is a rare thing for the NES library. However, the high difficulty paired with the extra long campaign can make for a tiring and frustrating experience in the long run. If you do not do well with repetition and quick reactions, then this is not the game for you. Current listings as of 2022 show a loose price average of $17.50, with a roughly $1 price increase per year, although it does look to be leveling out a bit. I rate my games based on value over price, taking into account the player's experience and how much the game costs to pick up. This is definitely worth it, and a must-buy for the NES. The sheer amount of fun gameplay and addictive yet difficult combat will have you playing non-stop for hours. The easy controls and easy password system makes this very easy to pick up and play anytime. And the game's high score system paired with the secret locations make for a lot of replay value for years to come. For the price, I don't think you can go wrong here, but a huge discretionary note. If difficult games and top-down shooters are not your thing, then this will be a hard pass, for the difficulty is just too high. Hey, thanks for sticking around till the end. Drop us a like, and if you enjoy our content, subscribe for more and hit the bell for notifications. Till next time, this is The Thrift Gamer.